agreement about how important like software patterns are or not, as the case may be.
Right, and what did they say?
They were both very much of the belief that software patterns are really important, and I was very much of the belief that no, it doesn't fucking matter. Can you make software that works? Yes or no? Do you necessarily have to follow exactly how it says to be done in a book that was written 30 years ago? No.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But and what did Dave say?
He didn't really respond very much. I'm probably going to go in on Monday and have like a book slapped in my face. Read it.
Gang of Four. Yeah, we'll have to see.
I think they've been struggling a lot with like the quality of the candidates that they've been receiving. I think it's just sort of putting them in a bad one. To be fair, the guy that came in like after you couldn't explain what HTTP was. And I was just like, I can't believe that I'm hearing it. It's coming in as a JS developer that used to do PHP, which is even worse. Quite how you can do PHP and still not understand how HTTP works.
He used to write for it.
How you doing?
See?
Things?
See ya. Alright,
How you doing?
Good.
Smart. So you had swap this time.
Yeah, I see.
What you were going to do? I thought you were going to do it to us.
No.
Oh,
You're nearly matched.
huh?
You're nearly matched.
Yeah, he's trying. They say dress for the job you want, don't they?
So there you go.
No, trying to be good. Trying to be good. Yeah, man, I've got. Otherwise, I'm going to end up rolling up a paddleboard in Thailand.
You ask someone to describe how to improve they keep saying what the commands are.
Zero, mate.
Get
But
slash.
it's the post out
Patch to the
How do people not? How can you claim to be a web developer?
I'm rolling back, yeah, because I put it according to the
That's like
photo I took, but I don't think
key
it's
information for everyone. Someone would say, when you
We were on the browser. That sends a request to a server and sends a response back to the file. That would be enough. That's already done. No, it's a job. So you want them to interpret the verbs are.
I don't know.
That's quite advanced.
It's not advanced. That's fucking
So what's
basic. Advanced would be like list me all the headers that come with a.
That's just having an encyclopedia brain.
Good.
All the options that are available.
Yeah, it's good at the minute. Loads of stuff going on.
Advanced would be describe the method for taking
Alex, but I like keeping my days with mind boggles and can't ever, like, I wasn't there, like, everything's in my head, don't realise anything done that, it's ridiculous, so it seems like very Alright, you guys, you going? Go ahead. Oh yeah. Sound relaxing? Where are you going to? Is it local to you or is it back over that way? Yeah.
So it's
Oh, is it? I'm going panic for my bike.
so yeah, we're north of there.
Oh, okay. Back in rain. Yeah, they're just outside it. They've got like a roof lumber address.
Okay. We're not really doing that.
I think he's waiting to pull that out. He did it a year ago as well. Like, engaged a year ago, maybe just set a date and it's not been 2 years. I think he's still on trial for his bar. He still thinks it's like a berry account. He thinks he's on buy now, paying 12 years. Now just got to like, That's what's come out next week, but then brought it all the way forward and how's it? I like the concept.
It's quite.
I'm not sure.
You said earlier like the dark one.
The dark was dark, but the orange and I suggested the orange and
It does have orange, yes, but browsers and yes. That's fine.
I think it was
also
don't like it anymore.
Yeah. It's like when you look at a word and spell it that much, you're like, is that really how it's spelled?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah, I like it. I think what you're trying to achieve with what you said before is pulling that into the farm. I really like that. And you said before, yeah, that's what you said. It's Sparks. It's all good. I sent it over to James, and he was like, oh, I thought you sent me over a lesson where it's got like King Power on it. Up to my surname. He was like, try and get him to get this. This is why you're not involved. You look like one of those Brazilian football teams that have just got them everywhere. Sponsored by Corona on the sleeve. Yeah, exactly. But
the other kids,
I still love watching it. Looking at the bubble
he's not going to struggle to get a woman.
no, really? Yeah. When is everyone in set up?
Yeah. No, it's not him.
He goes to this business stuff.
That's not it. This is I've got someone in the family.
By my friends.
60
minutes.
Yeah. So let's get
you spend more time like learning about it than writing any code.
I might try to attend to
These blog posts.
How are you? How's the job?
Yeah, I'll show you the I'll show you the thing is the rate trend.
Oh yeah, you'll have to definitely.
Yeah, managed to get the well, the appointment was 6:50, but got there early.
To be honest, I think we should be doing some yeah, okay. That's how I always
No, he has. Anyway, you're right. He has 6 kids. Yeah, that's what he's doing. He'll be here at the next
thing is, I think you just need a HTTP, just use my
Yeah, I've got Windows.
If not, then I mean, I'm going to print it.
Yeah, or if you do it on Google Docs.
I mean, they're all in that they only show Jason.
Yeah, you just said Jason.
I think there's no questions.
Oh yeah.
I think it's easiest to get into, but hardest to master.
I don't know. I think you did.
We can try fixing it. I'm sure we could daisy chain the HTML.
Well, I mean, what sort of payments they come in next?
Quarter 2, quarter 7. Yeah, we can try and get you set up. Test it out. I'm calling it like supercharged service.
They are getting away from it, but they
you want to get over and done. Yeah, sure.
So they're going to need
yeah, have you done those before?
new stuff, lots of features and bits and bobs out. They'll get
No, he says he did some himself, like, that's the mistaken one. He did say,
Oh, was that his joke? I didn't get my joke.
Right, okay.
Yeah, he says I made a bunch of stuff.
Is it? Okay. Reserve. Alright. Front and centre. We're doing cool wall again, so
We didn't realise you did it after the talk last week. We left and then we were like, oh, they carried it on. And we could stay.
oh yeah, well people just like pinned it up, so I've taken them down and they're open for conversation. Someone like Tim, like AWS,
Yeah.
someone annoying.
I'm glad Mark was
Angular.
Yeah, not after today.
Is that what you've been doing?
Yeah, we're on a project that uses Mocha and silently. Somebody did some bad stuff. We've got to Jest on the next one, so that's good.
Yeah, we've mainly migrated stuff to Jest, but like a lot of our access. Yeah, casual thing one year and then what's that? What you working on?
Service. Oh, I'm on service stuff. That's where Pablo's been today.
Sounds like that.
Up and down.
I see you like starring stuff on.
Yeah, the people we're working with, I think one guy has tried to lead another, and the guy who's led is a junior, so a lot of the code is like not very nice. So we've come in and we're like, right, we need to completely change it. So adding features is slow, but improving the code is
Howdy, how you doing?
How are you?
Not bad, thanks. You?
Good, yeah, not too bad. Thank you.
So you still set up AWS with it?
No, actually, I thought you did, but it's pretty messy. No, you can work a million servers, but it's a month. Servers, millions. Yeah, millions of notifications, I think.
Just carry on with the conversation.
Amazon makes them Amazon
Yeah, their margins are tiny.
like they make much more money.
is. You must have had your computer in front of you to get my phone number.
Uber competitors, they spend 4 million a month.
Send me a message and you would have had my CV.
Oh, really? Holy shit. Last one is just
All of Netflix is good.
Is Uber still on Google Maps? I guess say a lot as well.
And they might do it on back end.
They used to be on that stuff. I don't really
I've been boring. I've been boring.
Like when you use maps, Google Maps, like you don't know where you're going to free limits. The people they must have literally
I'm looking forward to the new opportunity. Where? For all the reasons I've quite not very far. I think
LE2 is pretty big.
So that's what she thinks. She just
No, that's the code of it.
enjoy.
You're the contractor.
Oh, you got the hill contract.
To be fair, I haven't actually liked it a lot.
It's just wrong. You go past that one.
I'm taking this from 0% coverage to 1% coverage. Wow. Yeah.
I've just recorded this. We're sitting still.
Right.
When I saw the map.
Get driving license and consider driving Uber, bro. 44 quid 7 minutes. You make more like a factory in London,
I saw on the map. Just red patch.
Yeah, congestion, right?
Oh, is that not too much stuff? Just traffic officers say, no, you can't use this road, sir. And the guy from the street said, get up and walk out the hotel, it's just, get on the road, it's just,
That is a small kind of human thing.
So with a paper.
I'm not. So sweating. So warm.
We're going to be so.
So warm. I'm going to have a bruised bicep.
There's a lot of technical discussion going on.
Sorry? No, yeah, that's
They had a dartboard in there.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay for it, do you?
I think you do. I saw it on
We made so many holes in the wall when we first played dartboard. No. If you missed the dartboard, so we just bought a dartboard and no one had played before. It was like missing spots. We had to get one eventually.
But then I guess still people like.
And then we were much better. Yeah.
Oh.
Now I always hit the ball. Nice.
Hello everyone. Right, okay, we'll start. We haven't got our speaker yet, but it's fine because we're starting off with a cool one, so it's all good. So yes, welcome to the March meetup. We have got a really good talk actually coming up after we have food about delivering JS at scale, and it's not often we get someone from a huge company like Compare the Market, so it should be a really interesting talk. As always, we're a meetup that happens every third Thursday, and if you're looking to speak at all on meetups, we are looking for speakers actively. And if you do want to speak, even if you haven't spoken before or you didn't have a talk topic, then by all means submit a proposal and we can help you and assist with that. We also have a little request, have a very, very short, I think 2-question survey thing. Oh, there he is, the man of the hour. A very short survey at that URL. If you could fill that out and let us know how we can improve and things like that, that would be awesome. So yes, we have food coming at 7:30. If you've got any dietary requirements or you're allergic to cheese, then please let me know. Also, try not to eat all the veggie options first, because there are actual proper veggie people here. And there's a ham and pineapple, which is mostly reserved for Matt, but you know, help yourself. And if you need a loo or anything like that, ask me, or there is some of the Calcal people. Linda at the back with the red top, and yes, they can help you. We are obviously sponsored by Calcal. You're in the Calcal offices at the minute, and we are hiring as well. So yeah, come talk to us about that if you want to. Next time, you get to listen to me drone on some more. I'm doing a talk on super fast serverless architecture, which might interest Lambda people. We've done a lot of AWS Lambda stuff, so that should be hopefully an interesting talk. And we've also got a talk by Girish about GraphQL and everything about that, so that should be again very exciting. That's on the 18th of April, so yeah, I have actually for once posted the Meetup link, so yeah, you can go ahead and RSVP. So, the cool. I don't know where we got it to exactly last time, because people pinned things without discussion, not that many names. Who we got to next? JS. So we'll kick off from there. There we are. So, Next.js, has anyone used it? Put your hands up. This one has. Would you like to talk to them about Next.js? Well volunteered. I like your enthusiasm. Is it on? Yes, it is, yes.
So, sorry, I haven't done this before, so just talk about Next.js?
Yes, tell us about it.
So it's cool. We did a sort of hack day to look at server-side rendering not long ago to find out what the options were and what the implications would be of adopting both Next and Gatsby on our project. I guess the main takeaways we had was Next is kind of has the way you determine pages that get server-side rendered. That's based on the pages file or the folder, so there's a very specific project structure for it, and you can pass in there and then and then the only other sort of big impact we see is that they have an extra runtime or an extra lifecycle, which is something along the lines of fetch data. So outside of the debug and management stuff, is it to run data before it actually runs the data, and that's that works. And it feels very much like normal React. It's just it's cool and very, compared to looking at something like Gatsby, I actually prefer it, because Gatsby requires a bit more knowledge of file kernels because it's not a bit crucial, and it does do lots of good stuff with backup. In terms of adopting Next.js seems something amazing.
Okay, that's very interesting. I've recently ported my blog to Gatsby, so yeah, I'm interested to sort of maybe dig into Next.js because I've not used it at all. It's built by the guys who made Design, isn't it? Yeah. So it's yeah, sort of a React extension pack, as it were. Is anyone using this in any side projects or in production at all? First utility. Okay. It's your choice. Okay. Would you like to talk to us about your experience with Next.js? I think we move on to it.
possible with Next that's too good now? It really is. Yeah, I know. What's really cool about it, which of your console business, it wraps around that. The only thing I don't like about it is there's a sequence blocking operation on load that you cost to. And for me, the act is it lowers as quickly as possible. And you give me a bunch of things like that. It feels whereas Next, just like before.
Okay, that's very interesting. Interesting in your opinion. Do you have an opinion on where we should pin LeicesterJS? Uncool. Okay. Would you like to pin that on uncool? Again. Yes or no? No is the answer. Okay, moving swiftly on. To Meteor. Yes.
We agree.
I think we agree with simple. No one's used it, so it's simple.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I agree with everything that he said.
You think it's cool?
Almost word for word.
Dissension amongst the ranks. We're put on the precipice then of uncool to cool. Meteor then. This was super duper popular. Was.
Yeah.
For about 5 minutes, yes. Now not so much. I'm not quite sure why. I guess because of the React coming on really and blowing it out of the water. But yeah, has anyone used React at all? I never really used it in production until I just used it for messing with side projects in Mongo. Has anyone used it in production at all, or in any kind of semi-serious environment? No, hence why it probably died off. Fair enough. Has anyone ever used it in a side project at all? No. Maybe I'm just the only one who used it. Fair enough. Okay then. We'll leave that one. Sort of.
That's pretty cool, I think.
No, not really. No, I like React better. That's, yeah. It was great when it started out. Because that was sort of pre-React and the whole kind of component revolution, shall we say.
But it's based on React, isn't it?
I thought you could use React with it. It's like a
Oh, can you?
platform, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
by default it's based on React right now.
Yeah, I believe that is the case now. When it originally launched, it wasn't.
Ah.
I think they kind of had to try and gain a bit of market share back, but as I understand it, it wasn't intended to be that way to begin with. So yeah, I liked it when I used it. It took a long time to compile and it had a lot of dependencies. So for that reason I didn't really like it, because it was very slow. And React for that reason, yeah, how if you just download Create React app and you spin it up and it's like in 5 minutes you've got a whole application. That would take probably about 15 minutes. So yeah, I would say it's uncool now, at least. I will put it on the board later, so I can't be bothered with Bluetooth. Right, Jeffs. That hopefully is more of a popular one. Facebook's testing tool. Hopefully more popular than Mocha. What do we reckon? Have we ever used Jeffs in production or in any kind of environment? Well volunteered.
Why me?
He said yes.
Yeah, of Mindera we use Jest pretty much on every single project. Do we? Yes. Apart from my current, mine and Dan's current project, but we are very keen to replace our testing setup with Jest. Super easy to use. You know, you've got testing runner in one framework, you've got a searching library in one framework. It's cool, yeah.
And for what reason do you like it over Mocha? Or Simon?
Simplicity, good documentation, really ugly new website. I don't like the new Jest website. And like pretty much every single, because we spent a lot of time working with React at Mindera. Pretty much every single example of testing React components, you can find some reference up on Google tested with Jest.
So because of its tight integration with React, you find it better over Mocha.
Because of the React gave me a good exposure to Jest in the first place. But right now I'm very keen to use Jest to test pretty much everything that is built with JavaScript, because you can. I understand and I remember the API. It's easy. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Anyone else ever use it at all? Tom is getting nominated. There you are.
I just agree with what Pav said. So we use it on everything. I've not had much. I think there was some Mocha functionality that we were doing for a bit, but we've decided to putting it out and using Jest instead. I think the good thing about it is that it's so widely used by the rec community. If you've got something you can't figure out how to do, there'll be someone who's going to ready. So it's just easy and the API's good and everything's there to use.
So it makes sense in your environment where you've got a React app. Yeah, sure. And do you just do sort of unit testing with it, or is it more full end-to-end tests? Is it?
No, I just a unit test. And the pipeline.
Okay, fair enough. Interesting. Anyone else ever used Jest inside or outside of React before?
The one underlying feature for me with Jest is snapshot testing.
Okay. Tell me about that. I've not heard of that. Tell me about it, Luke.
What's so good about it?
It's just works out of the box.
I think with Mocha, you would use Enzyme to assert what your JSX is skipping up, HTML one. Whereas,
What would you use snapshot testing for?
to assert the output of your JSX.
When is that ever going to change?
All the time.
You haven't changed it on purpose?
Literally all the time. So if you change the render, whatever is in the render method, and you forget to update the snapshot, your test should fail.
Why?
Because you're changing the output.
But you knew you were going to change the output.
Yes, so
you
it's
knew
asserting that's been changed.
I've never. So again, I'd love anyone to correct me, because
Surely you'd like to know the thing that you're changing. It knows about it within the pipeline.
I've never found a good reason to do a snapshot
Yes,
test.
you do.
Because you write your.
You haven't found a good reason to do a test.
You write your component,
Yeah.
and you go. It should look like this. It should output this. It should output this HTML structure or whatever.
Yeah.
You take a snapshot and go, right. That's the state of that.
Yeah. So then when you
But then when you change your component, you have to immediately go, right, and I know this test is going to fail, so now we do a snapshot. It literally has done nothing.
that's fine, but you'll get to see that within the PR and the bit, and you can you'll see the assertion of change that is taking place.
Tom has thoughts on snapshot testing. Would you like to go with the second one?
So today we had an end-to-end test fail in our pipeline for going into production because an ID had changed that we'd not noticed. So we used context to assemble some IDs in a module that's touched by James behind me. But it assembles the IDs based on those names we've given to components and puts the ID in an input. And we accidentally wrapped another one of these components around one of the inputs, and it added an extra ID, and that broke all our tests. So if we had snapshot testing, which we don't in a minute, that would have caught that. So normally you're expecting range to change, but occasionally there are times when you're not, and it does. And for us, for our pipelines, it's another like 20 minutes to get a PR through and a package, get that into the journey, get that out the door into the end-to-end test to see if it's fixed. Well, we know it's fixed, but to then get it to the point where you can be released again. So it would have saved us a ball out today. just to, you know.
Are you convinced now?
I don't know, maybe. Again, it's a conversation I've had with a few people, and I've had other people agree with me, where they're like, yeah, I can't see the point of that. Every time I change my render, I know that I've changed my render, therefore I'm just having to update the snapshot every time I do this. Is the snapshot breaking?
If you haven't got
Anyway, I hadn't found anyone to disagree with me before. Now people disagree with me. Fantastic. Now I have a new point of view.
That's interesting. Yeah, I'm sort of siding with Dave, really. I can see how it would have been useful in that case, but
it's like the one time.
The one time, yeah, exactly. So it's sort of a balance, really. You know, it depends whether that one day of pain is going to be negated by probably a whole load of pain with people changing renders and then having to update the text. So swings and roundabouts, I suppose.
I do still have this good.
Exactly. Who would like to come and pin Jess on the board and where as well? The question is where? Where do we think? Are we thinking cool? Upper end of cool?
It is cool.
Yeah.
It's cooler than blue.
Is that well? That's like I suppose the guideline. Yeah. Okay. Who's not pinning something on that?
Should I?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Go on. Pin it where you want on cool or.
Is it cooler than blue?
Yes.
Cool, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, just a little bit cooler, yeah.
Just a little bit. Yes. Perfect. On the boundary of Sub-Zero. Cool. We've had Mocha, I think that slide got slightly out of order. Everyone has opinions on Mocha, so we'll go over that one. Ava. This is one that I've used very briefly, but not much. Has anyone actually used Ava at all?
I used it again super briefly and went, hey, all my tests run in parallel, sweet, and then that was it.
Yeah, I kind of dropped it in favour of using Jest. I didn't really see any clear benefit over anything else, which I guess is why no one really uses it. So I guess if you're the only person who's actually ever used it, you want to come and pin it on the board.
Absolutely.
Go for it. You want to do blue tack work.
I love blue tack.
Who doesn't?
Where are we putting it?
I think it's already got some actually. Yeah, okay.
Where are we going? Literally has no one else touched this ever.
Never even heard it.
Well,
it was made by-
their marketing department has failed. So
well, it was made by the guy who he's a very popular open source person.
Who was it?
Simply, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I can't
That's the guy
pronounce
who
his-
created half of NPM.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, and that's impressive that it's a single human being who created really amazing framework like this.
Yeah.
And like 900 other NPM packages. It's just incredible.
Yeah, I think he maintains over like 1,200 packages. So yeah, if you think your GitHub notifications are bad, I think that is. So next one, Karma. We actually do use this in production for one single repo that's very old, and all the test pass still, so that's a good thing. Does anyone else use Karma at all? Okay, interesting. We've used it for one repository for testing. It tests actual like UI, I don't know what you call those type of tests, like visual regression tests and things like that. So we've used it for that once, and it kind of sucked really. It boots up a browser in the background and does all sort of funky stuff with that. So we didn't really like it, and we again dropped that in favour of just a load of other tools really. We'll move on anyway though to one probably people do know, Amazon Web Services. What do people think about that? Dan, you're doing serverless.
Yeah.
Tell me what you think of AWS.
Pretty good. The UI is awful, but other than that, it's pretty good.
Pretty good.
That's all I've got to say really. I don't have a concern on it.
So how's your experience been with AWS Lambda?
Yeah, pretty good. It was quite easy to start using the serverless framework. Got stuff up and running pretty quick. Yeah, pretty simple really. I already had experience with AWS before we started using that, so.
And what have you done with AWS before?
Just like a normal a normal web server with caching and validating Redis and a database backend and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I understood queuing and notification services and stuff like that. So
are you using anything else apart from AWS Lambda at the minute with your?
No, not at the minute.
We do a lot, man. So apart from lambdas or?
Yeah,
What
no,
was the
like
question?
Yeah, apart from Lambdas, like
queuing,
you're using your
notification,
AWS services
we
like
use
DynamoDB. Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, DynamoDB,
Um,
yeah.
Yeah, it's all good, all works together.
Yeah.
We enjoy it.
And how are you provisioning that? You said with servlets?
Yeah, we have like a template like YAML, I think it's CloudFormation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, use CloudFormation.
Yeah.
Actually, we are using extension on top of CloudFormation called SAM, which stands for Serverless
Yes.
Application Model,
Yes.
which is like a macro on top of CloudFormation.
Mhm.
So instead of writing like million lines long CloudFormation template, we are writing super tiny function that basically describe the function name and the event that it takes as a first argument,
Mhm.
and it does like a massive magic for you. It's very handy.
Mm. Yeah, no, absolutely. Has anyone else used AWS, Lambdas or otherwise? No? Interesting. I think B4 uses AWS. I know they do. I know Dave. How do you find AWS? I think you do.
Talk to someone else.
I think you're being given a microphone.
Yeah, anyone. It does stuff.
Why did you choose it over GCP? Well, not why did you?
I didn't.
You didn't
Someone else
choose
did.
it. Why did someone else choose it over GCP or Azure or something like that? Because
I think they were just more confident in Amazon do it. Well, actually, no, I know why it was. It was for their Greengrass, their IoT stuff, which I don't think GCP is as developed.
that was a call from our good friends at Docker.
Put them on the mic. We'll discuss AWS with Domino's.
Put them on the wall.
I actually will. Well, that was a disappointment. There is someone by the door, so hopefully they should be pizza soon. Anyway, yes,
I think
AWS.
it's fine. What we've done, which I would disagree with, is gone like heavy all in on AWS.
Right. Why do you disagree with that? Is that vendor lock-in?
Yeah, exactly. It's vendor lock-in. Like if I mean, it wouldn't happen, but if tomorrow AWS decided that we're not going to do this anymore, like half the intent would break. But other than that, we would be screwed.
Hello. Yes, we'll be out in a second. Okay, thank you. Take care.
Someone's got the door.
There is someone at the door, definitely. Yeah, they probably just won't spot them. I think Linda's gone out, so it's all good. Yes, sorry, carry on.
Yeah, you're then basically stuck in AWS with no real easy way out of it. You have to massively rethink things. And as someone else said, the console management thing is dreadful.
Oh, it does suck. Yeah. But the actual services are fantastic. I mean, I suppose with like Cloudcore, I mean, we have a huge amount of vendor lock-in with AWS. I mean, we have all our telco stuff running on physical boxes in data centers, but all of our other stuff is AWS.
It's definitely a great way to get a project started because you can really easily spin things up and go, oh yeah, this is the service I want to use for this, and get stuff going really easily. But I think in the long term, it will cost you a lot more money than doing it yourself, because they will charge you through the nose for certain things. I think there are better ways of doing things in the long run, but for short-term stuff, it's a good bet. And Amazon is not going to go down tomorrow. So,
With all the cloud services, though, I mean, I don't think you can really avoid the vendor lock-in issue, shall we say. Does that scare people, or is it not really fine? Steph, go for it. I'm just going to go and make sure that Free can get here. So we can both microphones.
Vendor lock-in scares me. I think we need a distributed dev. We need to all devs and be provider. And start getting out of control for like two companies.
also we do the cloud is security like domains like API. But so as a service standard, you can install your own server. You get some scripts to install a server with the software you want, and some script to commission the
They like store.
Don't mention that word. Don't mention the B word here. Righty. So we're going to do a quick vote on AWS, and then there's food. So what do we all think of AWS? I think it's in the Sub-Zero.
Bold claim.
No.
Nope.
Why not?
Because
Capitalism's bad.
Because
it's got a terrible UI, and it's hard to use, and it's still kind of in its infancy in some respects.
yeah, I would agree. I would agree the UI does suck, but the services behind it are incredibly vast and very, very capable once you figure them all out. I mean, they've even got like
Has anyone done that yet?
no, not quite. They've even got like AWS satellite stuff going on now. I mean, it's just crazy what you can do, and all the tooling around it, and all the. I mean, again, the documentation is horrible. As I've been trying to like DB things this week, but I just think the services are just too good to ignore almost.
Just one thing to add about the UI, terrible UI of AWS. It is terrible, but the more you need to use AWS, at some point you will jump to CLI anyway. And CLI is fantastic, and the CLI documentation is fantastic, like the manual page for CLI. It's fantastic. It's simple to use. It's very, very well documented. Like I spent minimum 8 hours every day on AWS right now, and I never go to console anymore. Everything I do CLI. So at some point, it's not a restriction for you at all.
Yeah, maybe it's just a bit of Stockholm syndrome. I got it.
Where is it?
On a manual page, so when you do AWS, I can help.
You disagree? I think it's what we're trying to say. But where do we all think the AWS should go? I'm guessing that's Sub-Zero.
It's cool.
It's cool. It's cool, but it's not Sub-Zero. Okay. On the sort of upper end, I think it's cool. Steph, do you want to be the nominated individual? Do you want to pin it on? And you can bring that back as well. Yeah, I mean, Lambda is very good. Obviously, you've got Azure functions, and you've also got GCP thing. Is it? Yeah. Functions is they've all got them. So yeah, cool. There we go. Right, there is now a pizza out there, and there's a kind of pineapple there, and there's also a veggie as well. So by all means, enjoy. Don't nibble with Matt's pizza, otherwise I'll have you. But yeah, and then afterwards we'll have the talk from Tom. So yeah, thank you very much, guys.
I've dominated these two. What? Yeah, he did beat me one game.
Oh, sorry, man. I don't know what you're going for. How you doing, man? We haven't. This one?
Yes.
How long does it take for you, Josh? How long does it take for you to set up? 5 minutes. Yeah, I'll try and get you switched over. You on our Wi-Fi? No, not on my laptop. Is it just a guest or is it a password?
It's just a guess, yeah.
Are you ready for your duck, man? I think so, yeah. We finished the slide for like half 4.
Just in time?
Yeah, I'm not sent it to you yet, even though that's why.
Are you hungry?
worked out. Good one. That's fair enough.
You alright, guys? Yeah, let's see around. Let's see around. Alright, some help? I'm trying to find the cable that turns this thing on. Seems to get like no power from anywhere.
I've never seen them play like Crystal Maze every day. Yeah, between the lanes and things, it's really, really well set out. Yeah, no, it's good though. I really like it. It's all worth going to. It's not cheap. It's not like a car escape room like 20 quid. But it's going through like problem solving, like creating things like had one work from our mates, so you got to realize their mates. Because they like you lose so like you do the puzzles yeah, so you get locked in. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I rate it. I definitely recommend it. I don't think so. But no, I'll take it. I'd 100% recommend it. Like stage games. Have you been to many of these stages? Have you done they're not even like stage level? There's one in Nottingham at the minute at Escape Level, which is called Culture, which is something like that. There's one bit in it where there's like a TV monitor and it will start flickering when like you start to get while you're trying to raid his house and find food and get yourself out basically. And you've got a big old hammer.
How's things doing? Are you busy? How's things with you otherwise busy?
Yeah, pretty busy. Yeah, just planned the wedding, so.
Oh, okay. Oh, when's the big day?
14th September.
Oh, okay, excellent.
Yeah. Got engaged about a month ago, so yeah.
Okay, excellent.
All good fun.
But it's well worth it. And then cases like that at the end of you never have my heart one.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've just been really, really busy. So my sort of job hunting has gone down at the moment.
Yeah.
How many more? I mean, do you know how many people you're taking on?
How many what?
Do you know how many people the company's taking on?
You know what? Actually, no. I mean, I think we're mainly hiring people in our Belarus office.
Okay.
But yeah, I think we're hiring a few here.
Yeah,
at least a couple.
Yeah, because last time I spoke to Mark, he was saying that it stopped because there was space issues, desk issues.
Yeah. We found some space now, so.
The best one I've done is in Vegas. Three or four mates. The best one's Saw Live. What's the doll's name? Literally says to you get pushed, physically pushed into a ring, slam on the door, and it's like a room with all the things. There's 8 of you in total, 4 of you have to go.
I think the thing that, like with the actual job or advert, because I had that because I spoke to Mark about it. It's sort of, because I actually saw the advert like a couple of years ago, and I was sort of put off by it because it had so many technologies on there. Wide range of technologies.
You need to wear quite a lot of hats.
And then I'm thinking, okay, I mean, I know sort of half of them. I don't know, sort of. There's quite a few on. There's some on there that I didn't actually know. But then, I mean, Mark was saying that it's sort of the case of you don't necessarily need to know all of them, but you've got to have that one attitude that you can show that you can learn them.
Yeah, that is kind of the main thing, really. That's the main thing. It's just a willingness to learn, to be honest. It's
because the other day I was like going back from work and I was like stuck on the motorway. I was just like,
you don't want to do this anymore.
Oh, really? When we get a call, it's expensive to when I used to meet down at the I love the stadium. There's like a live stadium in Manchester. But not the real one. But it is, I love it. It's the same, you done the big trip one? Yeah. I've took a lot of credit to get out of the first time. Once I got on it, I liked it.
Someone has to jump in and find it. It's got the very first one where you have to have someone there change up in. He's not there, he's not long. When it opens up, into the room. If you've lost, they go
How do you do
Yeah, we did that.
How long?
About an hour and 20 minutes. Usually about an hour.
Have you heard about the one in Madrid? The escape room in Madrid? 5 hours long. 0.07% success rate. I think there's one person, one group, and it was them. Not completed the last bit of the puzzle. I've never done the higher.
Well, I'm actively avoiding them because I'm relatively certain that whoever I went into, I would. Yeah, that's a very small opinion. My girlfriend wants to make a escape room. I will
really well, so I was able to chime in at like just six where I can. It's like a really, really good framework for as you know. And I think as English people now,
Yeah, do you want to just like, just wink at me? And just like wink at me when you're on.
No, I'll literally say next slide.
Yeah, I think I'd imagine myself
Slide, please.
going like 5 when it's because I'm like, that's the way it's going to get done, and that's the only way it's going to happen. And then it's going to
Ooh, it's live streaming on YouTube. Right, there will be no saying the wrong things.
Catherine was asking about that sensitive data stuff.
Sensitive data?
She's like, I just said I've talked to them now. And she was like, okay, well, who's it to? I was like, it's just like a lesson. And she's like, oh, I'm sure that'll be fine. It's just, if it made it to the internet, I was just like, don't worry about it. Won't be an issue.
Well, preface it properly with these are renegade numbers. Is that a local guess?
forever to get anything into the house.
Oh yeah, love the shoes.
It looks good, yeah.
You know a lot more stuff.
Yeah. This is what we say, yeah. Oh, my house is insane. Sold out. Couldn't even book the back one. Yeah. So we were about a couple things, like 2.5 weeks or something. It took forever to get around to doing it. I don't know.
Power.
We'll run out for him.
All one word.
Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
I remember speaking for Harvey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you got it right. Put it on the shop first, well, the old shop. Oh, right, yeah. On the handheld microphones, I've got the British It's a tough one to carry out.
It's the icon in the yeah, no one trusts them around and stuff on Excel, which is probably the reason I'm not reliable enough physically connecting you to
That's what I said to you, like everyone just hates my cables into the
So much you facing my cables on your
well, I've got the dongle. Oh, is it? Can I switch you around? Yeah, good enough.
Is Mark not around?
No, he's gone to pick up his kids in taekwondo.
Oh, right.
Fatherly duty to call.
Can I have a lemon and lime, please?
Can you have a lemon and lime?
Is it a cold lemon and lime?
I don't think you can.
It needs to be sugar free. This one. This one. The one at the bottom. Yeah, 0.
Zero. You got an iPhone?
Just snatch that out of your hand.
Thanks, any good. Hello?
Sorry, what did you say?
Said is Bex any good and you just fucking ignore.
Sorry, I didn't really catch what you said. Bex is alright. It's, you know, standard lager. I wouldn't drink it, but it's alright.
How many umps is it?
Yeah, you can, it's fine. You can have like two units.
Can I?
Yeah, you can have 2 units and drive.
No, so
Can you?
Yeah, so some can, some can't.
Mine's invaded the security restrictions up there.
Magically invaded.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, fair point. It's pretty there was a glory time where they didn't know about Max.
It's right. It's the only reason we don't.
Yeah, they're quite fine actually. Our internet access is yeah, why is it so bad? They've got Gmail on the Wi-Fi. Oh, the only things we have to it's not that like yeah, no, yeah, we have I've run into anything else.
And we have some stuff like paste things because of
There's some YouTube stuff.
Well, we have
actually Twitch is blocked. Yeah, I know Twitch is blocked because I tried to swerve stream Twitch.
Yes.
We've got that.
This is why we don't always have
This is essentially the problem we have at TTL.
Yeah. Would you like a big sodding cable?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's a female. No. I don't want that.
Dinosaur consuming.
Okay. This is confusing in 2019.
No stuff's the best.
You can't go right now. Doesn't not work. Probably something about having a fire exit there.
I'm like all that.
Does this block everything? What I'm talking from here? Oh, it's on the delay or something.
When is this? Giving you all the information you require.
In order to doing it, it's just big slides.
Yeah, you do this kind of
And it made it worse because I went to go to
What would be like sponsored order? Right, okay, let me just put you down for
Yeah, to do like that.
Give me an hour.
Yeah, that's the stress.
Yeah. No, can't take everything one day. One cancels out the other. And then she was saying, I'll do the really serious ones first. And then the less serious ones will just hope that they picked it in time for when we got off the plane. What is going on here? Spinning wheel. Yeah, it takes a long time. There's two jobs since I was Is it? I never had that TV. You know, do you remember in your school they did that thing on your arm? And it stayed, you didn't have to have.
It's a very, very impressive way of
So they did like a jam, and it's like hard yeah, and they, and it still had it, you didn't have to have the TV. Yeah, everything else they pay straight apples and just don't go on against at I know it's last second.
Yes. Dave is yet another year older.
25.
If only 43. At least I'm not going to die from cholesterol.
Take it from 50 minutes and bit back. What is it? And I imagine that the next one, you two really sat together and wanted I can't wait for the next discussion bit around stuff that you've both been using.
Especially seeing as you talk to like an hour and a half.
Oh my god, that is going to be. You know,
He only lives 10 minutes out.
when people say like the jump my works minutes, you literally that is mad. That is at least 10 hours a day to do like 50 hours a week.
Yeah, it's not a long contract.
Oh, that's not too bad.
They've made the key mistake of specking out a 4-month contract for one person, and then because we've gone in a team, they're just like, oh, we'll just cut it out. That's not quite how it works, but yeah, alright. I think it's kind of
603 hours together. That's a long
we can still abandon it, mate. It's not a done deal.
Fucking hell, that's 27 days. Literally in 3 months, we can spend 27 days together. That's nice. Not even working days, actual 24-hour day. Full days. These are some of them days.
Matt contract for us, then we wouldn't be in this position. But no, he's failed me again.
Hey, no, I'm establishing now, that's it. I'll laugh at me again. They're very good, really. No, they do it. That is they are also Henry.
It's like a small.
Right, so we've got an amazing talk actually, hopefully.
Don't oversell it.
About delivering JS at scale. So give it up to Tom and James. Take it away.
Good, Josh. So if you've read any of the dozen emails you've been sent from Meetup this week, you'll know the topic of the talk. Thanks to Josh and everyone from Calcul for having us as well. There's some stuff to get out of the way first. So my name's Tom, I'm tech lead on Motor, and James is tech lead on Meerstrap, which is a team we'll hear a bit more about in a minute. And then for anyone that doesn't know who Compare Market are, one, how, but also, so basically we collect customer information and send it to local providers for insurance mostly, and then we process the data, comes back and give it to them, and then it gets sent off and do that thing. We've also started doing energy stuff, about Energy Switch. And I think at one point also we were the second biggest distributor of toys in the UK.
Okay, so we've called it delivering JavaScript at scale, but what do we mean when we actually say at scale? So to give you a few lenses to look at things through, as a company we have 12 comparison products, which are all these. So in terms of organisation, we have so each of those products has a full team behind it. It's they have a full team dedicated to delivering that, understanding the market they work in, building the website, building all the services that go behind it. So that's one way of looking at it. In terms of traffic, we grabbed some indicative sort of stats from Google for a couple of weeks ago. So Google Analytics tells us that we have 900,000 users. That's as Google understands them. That's people on different devices, but the same person, that kind of stuff. Those 900,000 people create 1.2 million sessions in a week. So that's obviously periods of the activity where they're on. This is specifically the motor comparison journey, so they're just getting a quote for a motor product, and obviously the session is period of activity separated by 30 minutes or more of inactivity and then revisited. And those people equates to 16 million page views on that journey. So that's the kind of scale in terms of traffic that we're operating at. In terms of the business, the organisation, the people involved, we have 12 comparison projects, but we have 18 teams behind that. So that's infrastructure and microservices and UX and all those kind of things. We have approximately 300 people working at the company, or rather 300 people in the tech division of the company. There are more in marketing and all the rest of it. And we're spread across 3 locations. We have Peterborough, London and Minsk as our office locations. So we've got 300 people across those 3 locations. That gives you an idea of some of the complexity we might be dealing with. And in terms of code, we pulled some stats as well. So on Monday at 4:30, we had 90 repos of code separate repos have been updated with new code in that part of the day. we have, as well as the 12 main journeys and the marketing side and all that stuff, we have 148 separate microservices that power all of the stuff we do. And in February, we got around 300 releases of code out, so we managed to deliver 300 separate things. Probably only minor things, but hey, it's still 300. So that you can imagine that there's that's the scale we're working at. There's a lot of complexity. There's a lot of negotiation that has to go on between people. There's a lot of code overlap or code that might be impacting another code. So we've come to sort of talk about what we've learned operating at this and how we actually deliver code.
So the biggest thing about the scale of our business, and not just the audience, but kind of the amount of people we deal with day to day, is that it kind of creates a lot of significant risk for us. So this is a quote by one of our managers, which we then got told that we couldn't use because we had to back it with facts. So we put it in speech marks, so that might not be right. But yeah, just to let you know. So we're a massive target. So we are one of the biggest comparison sites. That means that we're a big target for things like people like the FCA, the regulators, but also bad people. And if we screw up, so if we get things wrong for our customers, then we are liable for quite a lot of stuff. So we have to be very careful about what we're doing. So there was something that happened today actually where we have a complaint against us because of the way the data was handled, and that means that we have to then go back and look through and be able to prove an audit trail and all that kind of stuff. So we have quite a lot of risk associated with what we do every day.
Okay. I've sort of forgotten this selection of slides now. Okay, so let's go. How do we go about delivering? So next slide, and hopefully I remember what it is. Okay, so yeah, this is just the info. When we say delivery, we're not talking about the challenges that might be around the infrastructure, the actual physical delivering pages to people. It's not a question of bandwidth or anything like that. Like our motor journey with that 900,000 people and 16 million page views, that's powered by 3 EC2 instances on AWS, and that's not a problem. So technical scale is fine, but the challenge for us with the amount of people we have, with the locations we have, with the teams we have, and all the overlap of microservices, the challenge is how do we get code out and do it in a way that, how do we get code out at that scale, because you can tie yourself in knots really. So we'll talk a bit about that.
So when we're looking at how we figured out how to deliver at scale, we try and give a bit of a background of where we were and the way we've come. So in the beginning, about 10-ish years ago, maybe, or so, we had one massive code base. Everyone worked in that one code base. It was one repository. And so more products, individual teams in that all just kind of came and stuff into one code base. We realised that was a bad idea, for reasons I'll go to in a minute. But 5 years ago, we kind of started to evolve towards cloud-based microservices and kind of architectural and microservice teams, so teams looking after specific kind of business areas and business logic. And then 2 years ago, we started breaking that out also into kind of component libraries and that kind of stuff, and having teams that were just there to look after code libraries. This is a big cartoon that's on the wall near where we sit. This is 3 years old, and this has a 3-year plan, essentially in cartoon form, about how we're going to get to where we want to be, which is down here somewhere. We're still like only halfway down this thing, so we're still on the journey of what we're trying to achieve. So what we found out originally was how we don't deliver at scale. So we had this massive monorepo, everyone kind of pouring work into this one single base of code. It became incredibly complex, too many dependencies. So James, I think you were here when it was car and pet in one area.
Yeah. So my first exposure to CTM and working there was joining the pet team to help them with releases and delivery, and it was a bit of a horrifying developer experience because at some point in time the company expanded and it started with motor products and then they went into more and more industries. And some by spark thought, motor, that's got 2 products, that's got van insurance and car insurance, we need pet insurance. Well, we can only insure cats and dogs, so let's just copy motor and rename car to cat and pet to dog. And you know that works, but then you have the kind of all of your journeys are in one project, and you're looking at the code and going, look, you can there's database entries and all this code set to put the number plate in for your cat and your dog. That's one thing to discover, but the kind of the worst thing about the setup and the thing that everyone was struggling with was the fact that it is one repo of code, and there's multiple projects dependent on it, and then there's independent agile teams kind of go, yeah, we'll be agile, we'll develop this project and push it out, but you go to release and you've got a main trunk branch that you deploy from, and cars halfway in through this new feature, and they've merged the half-ready feature into the master branch, and you've forked off it, and you've done the pet insurance stuff, and you merged it in and go, can we release? No, because if we release, we'll also release car, and then that car will be broken, pet will be broken. So you had to coordinate these teams, and as far as I understand, like every team had that at one point. So the big push is to get away from that.
This basically caused this issue where there's a massive low confidence in the releases we were doing. Everything came, and the risk was like insane for the amount of worry that went into this stuff because we're launching such massive projects every time. And also you had to talk to everybody all the time to make sure no one had snuck it or come in that was just going to kind of KO everything at once. So we kind of started to solve this. So this is when we started to move to more microservice and better architecture. So everyone wants to be agile. Everyone wants to develop small stories and deliver kind of nice contained bits of code. And everyone wants to be independent as well. So they don't want to be worrying about what pet or energy or life or money or mortgages and all that doing. So we try to move to this thing where we have individual teams responsible for individual things. And it works. Like everyone's gotten well, it's good. But we have started a thing where everyone then started solving the same problem over and over again. So we'd create an address lookup, and then pet would create one, and all this stuff. And so all of a sudden you've got like lower complexity and more confidence, but everyone's repeating effort all over the shop. So this is where we get to today, where we have shared libraries of components. So we have React, all our new front ends are built on React. So we have kind of shared component libraries and shared YouTube and journey kits and all this kind of stuff. Dedicated team for shared code, which is James's team, and it's more efficient, more consistent, and hopefully lets us offer kind of best-in-class solutions for the stuff we're trying to do.
Yeah, cool. So, like the initiative that we are working with at the moment is what we call inner sourcing. Guess where we sort of pulled that from? Like inspired by open source, we now do our own inner sourcing. It's all about getting teams internally to contribute and to a centralized code repository that everyone shares. Because that solves our consistency problem. We said it briefly at the start. Tom's on the motor team. I'm on the Meerstrap team. Can anyone guess where we came up with the name Meerstrap? Bootstrap. Bootstrap and meerkats.
Everything in CTM has a related name, so a meerkat related name. So our deployment infrastructure is called CloudCat. There's shitloads of stuff everywhere, but it's very unoriginal.
Even in the sourcing is not that's not very creative. It's okay. So the Meerstrap team is a front end team whose responsibility is standardizing all the shared components. So we kind of go out to the journeys and work out what is built on that journey that can be used everywhere. So it's everything from buttons of React with certain styling to input controls to more complicated things like durable medium, which is like the panel that you see to download print copies of your quotes and things like that. There's a lot of things we want to share, so we've kind of organised them all in the Meerstrap team. And the Meerstrap team is publishing or creating and publishing NPM code modules that we publish our internal NPM registry, and then every other project team can just pull those down and use them and kind of get the benefit of actual code reuse without any copy and paste stuff. That's the point of that's the point, or that's our output, and the team exists to ensure that happens and to support everyone. And we act as the point of collaboration between all the awesome people on all our separate teams. Because we're at scale, like we no longer have one awesome person on a development team. We have 8 awesome people on 8 different teams. So we get all the cool stuff that they're doing, put it into one place, file on it, and distribute it out. So yeah, what inner sourcing is really trying to do is we've tried to do this before. We've tried to have centralized code that everyone shares, but that's never really been a business initiative before. So someone's gone and created a UI framework and gone, yeah, this is cool. This is like all the styles are perfect. They match our brand guidelines. Use it. But no one ever puts effort into it. So no one's going around and shouting about this in the company and saying like, use this. They're just hoping that people behave the way they're supposed to be, whereas we're actively engaging with people and pushing stuff down their throat. So yeah, let's do next. So last diagram. This is our thing in the middle, slowing down everyone. And we pull and push code from all of them. Yeah, we don't actually work in their code repositories. We work on our own, but we are engaging with all of those teams to push stuff through, and that helps us.
You've been creating some very helpful PRs for us.
Yeah, going to someone's code thing, go code mod and change loads of lines of code and go, there you go, I've refactored it. Only took me 30 minutes, but hey. So to give you an idea of how big this team is or how well it's going at the moment, I said there's 18 teams in the business, 12 product teams. 13 of those teams are using our stuff, so we're getting to really see how it's being used in different situations. There's people chucking in things like server-side rendering, and like the journeys can still explore unique things on their own. They just are starting to share more and more. And our dev team, people on the Meetup team, there are 7 of us, and shared classes is a bit of a naff metric because like we can have a class for each button, but we have quite a few things that are shared and people can opt into. In terms of how it's going, I had a look at the travel journey, which is in production using some of our stuff, and it's really nice because 37% of their code base by weight is Meetup stuff. Maybe that means that we're really inefficient with our bundling process, and there's a lot we need to look at there. But the proportion of unique code on each journey is going down, which is a good idea for how this works, how well this is working. And yeah, so something that I've seen that I really feel we get now is this. I saw this on Twitter, but it's basically imposter syndrome is like you think everyone knows lots of stuff, lots more stuff than you do, but it's not necessarily the case. Everyone knows a little bit in a little area, and they just know different things to you. So if you understand that, you feel like less of an imposter maybe. But we really see that with all our project teams. We're collecting all this stuff and we're trying to make a big repository of all the best stuff without ever like having to explore these things. We just cherry pick projects. And on the next slide, we have a tough crowd of demanding developers, which is nice. This message from Slack, obviously, we pushed out a release, we added some code, and like minutes after we pushed it out, people had integrated it, looked at it and gone, oh, your bundle size has just gone up. And essentially there's no reason for it to do that. So we have a lot of communication with people, and it's nice to have harsh critiques.
Yeah, Dimitri's normally a lot harsher than this as well. We normally do GIFs of things that are broken and put them in public Slack channels and go, yeah, you broke all this stuff. Go and fix it. And you hear some swear words from your team.
Yeah. So that's sort of our inner sourcing model. We're trying to encourage the right behaviours. We're trying to get developers to participate. We don't want to be disconnecting them and just stealing their work without credit. I mean, we do, but we want people to feel that they can be engaged, and we accepted the fact that the first time we build something, it's not necessarily the best. And build the journey 1, 2, 3 times. And
yeah, so the Meetup should be the 4th iteration. We actually started off being, so you went through bike and then car, and then got redone a couple more times, and that's at the point where we decided that everyone can actually start using this thing that we've done now. That was like 2 years worth of development.
Yeah. So Meetup didn't just come into existence. Like, we thought it was a good idea, but what we have now was the evolution. It was testing on one product, rolled out to a different project where we just went, the first version was shit, let's just rewrite it completely. And then
which is great when you're spoiling the first product, by the way. So thanks for that.
So when we got to a point where we were happy with it and we really needed to scale this up after we'd done our few guinea pigs, like that's when we became the Meetup team. Dedicated team allows us to have a roadmap and really treat it like it's a proper project. And it is a project, it is a proper project, and our customers are developers, which is nice because we get to care about developer experience.
So we're almost back. Looks like the first slide, but I promise you it's not. Where this brings us back to our main theme of what we've learned over this far. The developer scale, you've got to have confidence in what you're doing. It guards against risk, kind of having an undo process. So when we roll something out and then someone from DevOps comes down with a laptop with lots of red warnings on it because we've broken a car journey that's currently serving like 2,000 or 3,000 people, we have to be able to roll that stuff out quickly. And also be constantly looking at kind of ways we're working. So to just run through some of the stuff we do to kind of mitigate some of this risk, we extensively test all of our stuff. Just the car journey, so up until you see prices, when you see the summary page, there's 3,000 Jest unit tests, just testing that bit of kind of, it's 5 pages I think, probably 11 sections, about 100 questions in there all told, but yeah, kind of 3,000 tests. It takes about 55 seconds for that test suite to run. It could be quicker, but we then have extensive end-to-end tests, so every bit of functionality you see and you can use in the journey has an end-to-end as a test, an end-to-end test testing it. And then we also have cross-browser device tests on real devices, again running through every kind of possible journey. It means that kind of getting to market's a bit slow. It takes us like a morning to get a release ready, but again, when you kind of consider the risk under, it's kind of a necessity.
And on the testing as well, like the requirements we have in the industry, the FCA kind of requires that we have screenshot testing of our entire website and the entire journey as you go through. So there's all of that stuff in place as well.
And then monitoring, so I mentioned a minute ago when we have someone run down from downstairs who's kicking off because we've broken stuff. So there's teams around our building, there's kind of 40-inch plasma TVs anywhere with just kind of metrics and stats and stuff on. And then there is a team upstairs with about 6 of them on the wall looking at every product all the time. So we pretty much know, based on the amount of people we expect, to finishing a journey right about now and starting whether we've broken something pretty quickly. So normally what we do is we release at 8:30, we go to the cafe, which will be bistro, have breakfast at 8:45, and about 10 to 9 we get someone run down because we've broken stuff. We have to go and stop our breakfast and go and fix it. Occasionally, not all the time. Just for that now. And then we're also constantly looking at errors and logs, so we've got thresholds for stuff like 500s and 400s and stuff like that. But we are also always looking at the kind of the few little errors we get through into our logging system. And then again, just deploying and rollbacks, as I've talked about a couple of times. And then also how we work. So it's part of this teaching culture that we are very kind of encouraging of pairing and mobbing on stuff. It's also an FCA guideline that we have to have at least 2 people that have eyes on the code we put into production. My team actually does at least 3, but normally 4 people. So we normally have a pair on it and then get 2 independent PR reviewers in our PR review. Then we have an SDET who looks at the testing, and then a product manager who actually tests the bit of functionality we might have implemented. So by the end of it, you're kind of looking at 6 or 7 people testing it. And then we also have a multi-role sign-up process. That's the kind of SDETs and BAs and stuff that test our stuff. So this is kind of what we've decided. So how to gain confidence in what you're doing, right? So you want to reduce your scope, so just be kind of delivering little bits of things and working on small units of work. Abstract your complexity out, so move complex code out of the stuff that you're doing day to day. And also avoid side effects, so don't be releasing one thing and affecting another, because it's just going to kill your confidence. And also test, monitor, and then build safety nets as well. And all this stuff actually isn't about deploying at scale, it's just about, and delivering at scale, it's just about having confidence in the code you produce.
Okay, yeah, you can read that. Words of wisdom. So, like, we're on a journey. The journey's never finished. Confidence is the key to being able to release, because if you're confident in your code, it will go out. We still have challenges around the inner sourcing model, around the way we work. We don't want to take all the complexity, all the cool stuff away from people. We don't want to make people bored. We don't want to stop them from feeling like they can participate by creating these inner sourcing teams. We obviously the mindset is important. We don't want to make knowledge silos. We don't like products needs to have. We need product teams because they understand how things work. They understand the journey, and that's fine. But we don't want to make it so people don't understand how all these independent parts work. We're just saying like the complexity should be put away somewhere that's nice and easily unit testable, that kind of thing. And yeah, we've got inner sourcing's it's kind of been rolling around for 2 years. It's not worked before, but now we're trying with a dedicated project team. We're trying to avoid wasting effort for people. It's just hope it works. So things we'd like to take away. Scale comes with success, obviously. It has its own risks, but it makes certain things like ways of working, pair programming, the amount of time you can devote to testing, all these systems, like you can do them on any scale project, but you can do them more at larger scales. I don't want to get into the point of reading bullet points, but I'm going to anyway. The key to delivering is being confident in your code. You can be confident in your code if you write unit tests, if you monitor it, and if you're not just working on your own, doubting yourself. And from the kind of inner sourcing point of view, the way of sharing code internally, key to the success of this, at least we think, is always make it the path of least resistance. Always make it so that it's easier to adopt the shared code than it is to bother writing it yourself. Of course, like if you've made something with a really crazy API that no one can figure out, that has no documentation, that has no one around to ask about, you're going to go, well, I'll just do it myself. And that's exactly what we don't want people to do. That's on the code side of things as well as the visual side of things. And we want to basically piss our developers off and disenfranchise them and make them go, I hate my job, I'm a meta programmer. That's direct point. So that's our takeaways. That's the stuff we've learned at scale. That's the journey we've been on. Yeah.
That's it. Any questions for you? Excellent.
So, more questions and stuff with the libraries that are shared. If you've got two or more teams that are adopting that library, let's take a component and it needs to differ between the two products. Would you find that would be a component support, or would you find that something has to be compatible?
So the question is, if you have two or more teams using shared components and they need to change it in different ways, what happens?
Is it granular as well too?
So where we can, where it makes sense, you make the components flexible, you make the classes flexible. Maybe like if there's a valid case for both of them, for both of those behaviours, you make it something that can be switched on with the API, maybe, or like you say, I know it's a shit example, but if you have a button, one of them has an arrow and one doesn't, and that's a flag on the button that says you've got an arrow. But if it's something like there's 2 types of green and or the font size is slightly different on the button, there's only one type. That's what we're trying to go for. There's only one way of doing this stuff, or it's a separate class.
Yeah, one of the good things I suppose about what we do is the fact that there is brand guidelines, and so a lot of the look and feel stuff is fairly fixed, or should be anyway. So a lot of that stuff, like a lot of the kind of flags for different button sizes and things, it's all fairly decided already by kind of UX and CX people.
In a way, we make architectural decisions about projects to a certain extent. We make guidance about how things should be done, but we don't enforce it. For the end result that goes up to that users see, it's determined by someone else. We're not responsible for that. So we essentially kick off the conversations. Today there was a question about contact preferences. Should we say SMS or text contact preferences in this panel? So I don't know, and I don't care. Pick one. And we start the conversation with someone higher up who says, oh no, it should be text. So SMS is the other or the other way around. So part of the inner sourcing thing is establishing that standardisation and making judgment call on everything really.
Around the 300 release a month, does that continue to be delivered, or is there a level of regression, or is it someone pushing a button, like memory check the RAM, or is it
We'd like to say it's continuous, but it's not. So we have to push a button to put it in production. Again, just as one of the mitigation factors to the release. So all of our releases have to be signed off by a senior manager. We have to go into our deployment framework and hit a button that says I release build 1.129 or something like that. So yeah, it'd be great if we could just push it off. And that's stuff that you don't really have to worry about. But yeah, for us we have to kind of get stuff every time. Anything else? Josh, you've got his hand.
How do you ensure third-party like APIs and because competitive markets will depend heavily on each third parties? How do you ensure the resiliency around those?
In terms of kind of what kind of stuff? Oh, sorry, the question is how do we maintain resiliency on third-party APIs? Do you mean kind of stuff we might consume or actual kind of services we might call to?
Yeah, so I imagine you call an API, say, from X insurance provider to get what their price would be back before that. How do you handle all those sort of different intricacies of the process? Because there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, so for that kind of stuff, with partners, we have teams looking after the relationship, and everything's kind of agreed upon as agreeing to show that partner on our site. And there's a team called Transformers whose job it is to write the adapters to take the information you put into the journey and convert it into the very specific way that each provider wants that sent. So every time you click submit, get quotes, we go and change that into like 200 different formats of the data that then gets sent off, and all that's very structured and managed. And again, because a part of the FCA is that they need to map exactly where that data goes. So a lot of stuff like address, things that could affect your insurance price, address or age and things like that, we have to be very specific about where that data gets mapped through into the provider. Again, as well, stuff like vehicle lookup, we use third parties for. It's all just it's just regulate the shit out, basically. Everything is just documented and nobody can change anything in terms of that relationship, because if they did it, just like code. So yeah, it's just a lot of regulation.
And we know when people change stuff without telling us, because the monitoring goes off immediately, shit kicks off in incident channels.
Yes. Anything else? Cool.
Okay, one question. Yes. You mentioned that you do screenshot testing, so you've got like 18 products, let's say you've got 5 screens per product, that's a lot of screenshots. How do you do these screenshots? What kind of tooling do you use? And how do you use these tests to basically run like every single feature branch against these previously captured screenshots, or
so
what is the strategy behind your screenshot?
So we'll kind of do that against every master build. We'll go through the visual tests. We're using API tools to do that, and then just get stuff on an S3 bucket somewhere. Like I talked about AWS earlier, our AWS costs are astronomical, but they just get put there and then compared. and then we will go through, so if something gets flagged up, we'll go through and obviously decide whether that's an expected change or whether it's actually something that's broken and we have to go. So 4:30 today, we've got a knock on the meeting room, the meeting room door that said we've spotted a bug in visual test, and that release got out like 8:30 tomorrow morning, so that's my evening. So yeah, it's essentially like that kind of done in that pipe.
I'll take one more, probably more specific to you. About the browser support. What kind of browser? What is your browser support? Do you go as far as to like, I don't know, Internet Explorer 9?
Yeah. So question about browser support. I think our browser support is probably it varies a little bit on journeys. As far as my team's concerned, we support IE11, but we have polyfills in place and we have just like automated stuff all the way back to IE9. So the things like array functions will work and like functional decoder will work, but the visuals like we accept that they're a bit different at IE really older versions or just browsers we don't test. There is a lot of there's guidelines, and the guidelines change so the SDEC team, the testing team, are always looking at the usage of the browsers on the journey, and they're working out. They're always looking at the analytics and they're working out what slice of people we should be supporting, and that kind of minimum browser version is constantly updated. It doesn't necessarily translate through to like us because it doesn't change that much, but like if something significant did change, we'd know.
I think about a year ago we were looking at some feature we couldn't make work in IE10. We went and looked at the amount of people that were buying from IE10. It was one person a month. So we just went, it's not worth our time to do this thing, and that one person can go and download Chrome and do it if they want. This isn't, and a lot of the time it's looking at just what at the end of the day we're a business, everyone's time, what we sell is like what our main cost is really is people's time, other than some infrastructure stuff, so that's kind of what it comes down to. There's a list of operable and optimized browsers, I think. That list gets updated in one place, and then that feeds out to everybody's cross-browser tests. So you just start picking up a new browser or a browser drop-off if it's not like it's for like business. So.
Is there a config that decides about your browser support shared across all these 18 teams, and how do your team manages this config? Or?
Yeah, so in terms of a shared config, there isn't a globally shared config. Each team has their own config, and it's probably copied like from the centralized starting point, but that doesn't happen very often. So teams have a copy of it. It's independent. It's not hooked up in some centralized way. It's not worth it, really. But teams have the independence to change their support. So
we find obviously depending on the product as well, like people can be like people's behaviour is very different depending on the product. So stuff like home insurance, people are more likely to be at home or at work doing that kind of stuff, whereas energy switching or credit cards or loans and car insurance, people are much more likely to kind of be on their phone. So what we focus on is a little bit different personally.
Out of curiosity, what is the percentage of IE users right now, if you can share this information?
I can take a sneaky look at GA when I'm not on this, and then I can tell you, but it will be probably still depressingly high.
Because that's a very interesting market, let's say.
Yeah.
How are you distributing your shared components internally? They're like private scope NPM factories, or?
Exactly. So all the codes that we distribute is under an administrator domain on a private NPM registry that we host internally.
I was going to say, is that from npm.com or Adagio?
No, it's kind of our own hosted thing. It looks like NPM. It's quite old. It's due to be upgraded or replaced in the future, but it functionally works at the moment. So it's just like using a real NPM, except we have a .npm-rc in the project that says anything that this that belongs to this server, and it works as if it was open source.
It sounds like the way that you scaled is realising that
let everybody do their own work. Like, almost you've got businesses within businesses, companies, and then after you've let people get on and do their own businesses, you then come along and optimise the shared code. Do you think that when you have the original approach of having one repository, was there a conscious thought in that, oh, if we have one repository we'll be able to share code, and then it just got to the point where that didn't work and you forgot about sharing the code and then let everybody get on? So do you think there was a conscious decision at that, like originally when it started out? So the question was, did we consciously decide to put everything in one place? Because it would give you the same effect as what you've got now? Yeah, no, so originally we started off just with car insurance. So all our code was just in one place. It made sense because that's one product. And then we would have added van and bike. And then someone went, it's about insurance. Let's do insurance and make more money. And so then because of the need to get to market quickly, the quickest way of doing that was to just bolt on the side of what we had already. Okay, so it wasn't about scaling, it was about getting to market quickly. So yeah, I mean that's... Oh, we can share code here. That wasn't the primary motivation. No, so another part of the scale problem we have is the market we're in is incredibly competitive. And quite often we'll be readying some like big piece of functionality for delivery, and then Money Supermarket will release the same thing a week before we are. Because we spent 6 months doing this thing and they've already done it. So part of our big challenge and why we want to be agile and kind of reduce this wasted effort is to be able to get stuff out to market quickly. A lot of the time we find stuff doesn't work and we pull it and we stop it doing it or we're doing it away. But the best way we can figure out how we can be successful is to get stuff out quickly, fail, or succeed and then do it again. Yeah, and you found that now the way to do that is not to have a single project, but to let everyone do their own thing, and then pick up the pieces afterwards. Yeah, kind of. I mean, we grew very organically, so I don't want to say we didn't consider much about what we were doing at the time, but it was a very kind of a product of the time we're in. So like 10 years ago, open source wasn't such a big thing, so the inner sourcing model would just never have occurred to us, potentially. And so we've kind of grown organically doing that, and now we're in a very comfortable position where we can have a team of like 7 dedicated people looking after a shared kind of library of 4 or 5 modules in the universe. Yeah, 7. Yeah, so we've got like, we have components, we also have validation and insights and stuff like that around GA things. So we're very lucky that we can afford that luxury of being able to pay people to do that kind of stuff for us, and have also the DevOps and all the infrastructure teams as well. So because you responded to the market, you've grown to the point where now you've got yeah, so like, we all kind of at CTM, especially Motor, so the Motor at the minute is this kind of microservice shared component architecture, and also the legacy framework is still serving some traffic, and we kind of huff and puff on have to stuff from the legacy things, but the fact is that was a very successful product, and it's the reason we are where we are today. So we did a good job, it just wasn't great code.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Right, all done then. Yeah, we'll see you all next month. Thank you again for coming. And yeah, please fill out that feedback form if you got the link, and come join us on Slack as well. So yeah, thank you very much. Please do a lot. Really good, yeah.
Drink. No, it's not there. That one. That one. You sure? Just get that, not this one. Do you want one?
Yeah, it is very. Yeah.
What kind of buses?
I'm going to.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Your stomach dies.
The difficulty is it's like the same amount of code.
Are you in?
Kind of alternating going into like developer.
Yeah, let us know how it goes.
I'm not doing that. I'm hosting the whole conference.
If you're not talking, you're like the MC now.
Yeah.
Great talk. Good one, mate.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Great talk.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
I had one more question. Yeah. Do you beta test by any chance? If you do, use any?
Yes. We've not really nailed it with React.
Well, yours is really good.
So before it was optimised.
Yeah, something.
Just on the Google sheets, previously they just write some code.
It was really enjoyable.
So we're now having to build that into our
delivered it as well.
Oh, yeah.
It's got to come up with the idea. We'll probably soon use the optimized API.
We haven't been on next one.
Awesome.
It's not going to be.
Definitely further down last time.
Some of the first.
Well,
I'm not being a bit nervous. Was this a thing? It's not your first one.
the podium.
It was my first one, like,
okay, yeah.
like I've done once.
You're pretty confident doing some. Really? Yes, you're right.
How are you throughout the new role?
Oh, okay. You actually sort of.
Yes. I live closer to Peter, I think. You want to near Leicester, right?
Yeah, near my father.
Oh, okay.
Move from Leicester. On the nearby village.
Yeah, very cool, yeah.
Yeah.
We have like the phone. So like, we want someone to come in and challenge what we're doing. So then I went into the in-person interview and was my usual charming self and challenged what they were doing and how they were doing it. And then they phoned me through and I was like, no.
It's because
It's weird though. I don't know why you would say you want
sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I would definitely say go in there and that's my advice.
If they said be challenging, which they did, go in and fucking argue what they're doing. Which I did. And then they're like, nah, it's too argumentative.
There's like some very.
They had a proper program. Like, there was the main guy, who I described as like a Luke style sort of cuddly.
Everybody's really scared about research.
It's good for the
Kyle. And then they had a proper down buff dude. And I think he was one of the cuddly.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like how you handle it. I can't imagine you're out being 2 years ago. And we've not got a huge amount of
What?
It's too bad.
our QA
Say
team
that.
black hole for a week.
Oh, that's favourite words.
Yes, it's busy as hell.
So yeah, I think it's
Well, yeah, walking out as well.
yeah, cool. Right, Josh, next time?
Right, yeah.
Fantastic.
Come in, mate.
Yeah, good times. Very important. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for the arguments.
Yeah.
Always fun.
More again next week.
See you soon, mate.
Thanks, Andrew.
Good one.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, look, don't worry. And we're ready to go, and we know, look, it's a week, 10 days to turn around from having that sort of stuff set for the there. So we'll be Alex next time. So I'll speak to you before it anyway.
I'll shoot you an email.
Yeah.
Alright, mate. Take care. See you next time. Yeah, I'll see you next time. Yeah. What's her name again? Freya.
Yeah, this is definitely the last one. Well,
that's what they all say.
No, it is going to be the last one because I'm going to go for the Yeah, the cook for that. The